ये फैक्ट्स ऐसे हैं जो आपको प्रीलिम्स में तो हेल्प करेंगे ही करेंगे, एंड सम ऑफ द फैक्ट्स व्हिच आई विल गिव यू, यू कैन आल्सो ऐड देम इन योर मेंस आंसर्स आल्सो. सो दिल्ली हैड अ काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली इवन बिफोर 1993, even before the 69th Amendment Act 1991. Andaman Nicobar Islands is the only territory which got its own category, that is Part D. अंडमान निकोबार आइलैंड में भी लोकसभा से एक आदमी इलेक्ट होकर आता है. वन एमपी लोकसभा एमपी इज इलेक्टेड फ्रॉम अंडमान निकोबार आइलैंड्स. बट फॉर द फर्स्ट 3 लोकसभा इलेक्शंस the member of Lok Sabha representing Andaman Nicobar Islands was not elected. He was nominated by the president. Greetings students, I am M. Puri and I am faculty for Polity, Governance and Social Justice on the Sarthi platform, and a very happy new year to you. So from today onwards, I'll be starting a rather unique series for you people, for you students, and this will be helpful for not just the students of civil service examination, but also for other competitive examination. Okay. Now the name of this series is The History and the Origin Story of Territories of India. I mean, I'm talking about what is the background of origin of various union territories and states, etc. We'll start initially with the union territories, and if you appreciate these lectures on union territories, then we'll continue on to the history of and the origin story of the states also. Okay. And the facts I'll give you will be rather unique facts. ये facts ऐसे हैं जो आपको prelims में तो help करेंगे ही करेंगे, and some of the facts which I'll give you, you can also add them in your mains answers also. So we'll continue in this way. First we'll start with the UTs, and if this series is appreciated by you, so then we'll also go on with the origin story of the states. And जो states वाला होगा वो obviously थोड़ा every state has a very long history in terms of its development and its territorial boundaries as they exist today. तो फिर जो लोग स्टेट सिविल सर्विस के एग्जाम भी दे रहे हैं, तो जो उनको कई बार अपनी स्टेट के बारे में क्वेश्चन आता है, तो वो उसमें काफी हद तक आपको उसमें भी हेल्प मिलेगी. राइट. सो वी शैल स्टार्ट विद यूटीज initially, and then if this series is appreciated, we will obviously go on to the states. Right. So with UTs, let us start first of all with a national capital, that is Delhi. ठीक है. अच्छा बेटे, दिल्ली जो था, ऑफ कोर्स हमारा जो ब्रिटिश इंडिया का नेशनल कैपिटल, इट बिकेम in 1912, and since 1912 it was administered by a chief commissioner. Okay. And immediately after independence on 15th August 1947, we continued with the same system of New Delhi being administered by the chief commissioner. ठीक है. अच्छा, उसके बाद हमारी कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इनैक्ट हो गई. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन जब इनैक्ट हुई तो उसके बाद द टेरिटरीज ऑफ इंडिया गॉट टू बी डिवाइडेड इनटू पार्ट ए, Part B, Part C, and Part D. And Delhi was enumerated where? In Part C states. ठीक है. अच्छा बच्चे, बहुत लोगों को ना ये थोड़ी सी कंफ्यूजन है. नाउ दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्ट आई एम गोइंग टू गिव यू, कि दिल्ली के अंदर जो लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली है आज, उसके अंदर एक काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स भी है, चीफ मिनिस्टर भी है. मोस्ट पीपल फील दैट दिल्ली गॉट अ लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली एंड अ काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स आफ्टर द 69th Amendment Act 1991, जिसके थ्रू ऑफ कोर्स न्यू आर्टिकल्स वर एडेड, 239 AA and 239 AB, which gave constitutional status to the Council of Ministers and Legislative Assembly of Delhi. And after that, of course, we have had a chief minister in Delhi since 1993. But even before that, Delhi used to have a chief minister. Understand one thing: Delhi was categorized under Part C, right? In 1951, the center enacted a law. That law was called the Government of Part C States Act. Okay. And it is this particular act that for the first time gave Delhi a legislative assembly and a council of ministers. Yes, so Delhi had a council of ministers, legislative assembly even before 1993, even before the 69th Amendment Act 1991. Right. और 1952 में elections हुए, and Chaudhary, Congress Party won, and Chaudhary Brahm Prakash Yadav became the first chief minister of Delhi. Chaudhary Brahm Prakash Yadav of the Congress Party became the first chief minister of Delhi. ठीक है. अच्छा, बट ऑफ कोर्स आज भी जैसे आप देखते हो कि जो दिल्ली की जो असेंबली और काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स है, उसकी पावर्स लिमिटेड है. दिल्ली काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर्स, दिल्ली गवर्नमेंट, दिल्ली असेंबली, उनके पास इट हैज नो पावर ओवर, फॉर एग्जांपल, पुलिस. It has no power over public order. ठीक है. It has no powers over land. ठीक है. So similarly, the assembly and the council of ministers, which was created for Delhi, as a part of the government of Part C States Act, did not have any control over police, public order and land, much as it is the condition and the situation today also. Okay. अब इसके बाद हमारी 1953 में हमारी वो स्टेट्स रीऑर्गेनाइजेशन कमीशन क्रिएट हो गई थी, ठीक है। अब स्टेट्स रीऑर्गेनाइजेशन कमीशन जो थी उसके सामने बहुत सारी डिमांड्स आई विद रिस्पेक्ट टू कि व्हाट शुड बी डन विद दिल्ली। एक तो डिमांड ये थी कि भी कन्वर्ट दिल्ली इनटू अ स्टेट। इनफैक्ट बड़े इंटरेस्टिंग से उन्होंने वर्ड यूज किया था जो पीपल हु वर मेकिंग दैट डिमांड, दैट दिल्ली शुड बिकम समथिंग लाइक अ ग्रेटर दिल्ली स्टेट, ठीक है। एक तो ये डिमांड थी। दूसरी डिमांड ये थी कि यू कैन सेपरेट, बिकॉज यू नो दिल्ली के अंदर दो एरियाज है, न्यू दिल्ली एंड ओल्ड दिल्ली एरिया, राइट। अनदर डिमांड वाज सेपरेट न्यू दिल्ली सेपरेटेड फ्रॉम ओल्ड दिल्ली, ठीक है। अब न्यू दिल्ली को बना दीजिए आप कैपिटल, और जो आपका ओल्ड दिल्ली है इसके लिए सेपरेट administrative arrangements. Some separate administrative arrangements can be done for Old Delhi, or the areas of Old Delhi can be merged into the surrounding states. जो surrounding states है आपकी राजस्थान की है, उत्तर प्रदेश की है, हरियाणा की है, etc. उसमें merge कर दिया जाए. So the first idea that was presented before, a demand presented before the States Reorganization Commission was create a separate Greater Delhi state, और statehood demand for Delhi यहीं से शुरू होती है, right? Or the Old Delhi part of Delhi should be separated from the New Delhi part. New Delhi should become the capital, and Old Delhi should either have a separate administrative structure, or these areas of Old Delhi should be merged with the neighboring states like UP, Rajasthan, and Haryana. ठीक है, हरियाणा तो खैर बाद में बना, बट जो नेबरिंग स्टेट्स थी उस समय उसके अंदर उनको मर्ज कर दिया जाए, ठीक है। बोथ दीज डिमांड्स वर रिजेक्टेड बाय द स्टेट्स रीऑर्गेनाइजेशन कमीशन। स्टेट्स रीऑर्गेनाइजेशन कमीशन ने कहा कि भाई दिल्ली बीइंग द नेशनल कैपिटल, इट रिक्वायर्स सम स्पेशल एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव अरेंजमेंट, इट रिक्वायर्स अ स्पेशल डिस्पेंसेशन, राइट। अब एसआरसी ने कहा, एसआरसी वाज डीपली इन्फ्लुएंस्ड बाय द मॉडल्स ऑफ लंदन एंड पेरिस, ठीक है, बिकॉज लंडन कैपिटल ऑफ यूके, इंग्लैंड, पेरिस ऑफ कोर्स कैपिटल ऑफ फ्रांस, एंड इट सॉ दैट बोथ पेरिस एंड लंडन वर डीपली, they were under pervasive and very deep control of the central government. So it was very much influenced by how Paris and London were run as capitals of their respective countries. तो उससे फिर SRC formed this opinion that central government should have very effective control over your Delhi, right? अब क्या हुआ? The SRC recommended, because the SRC was influenced by the models of Paris and London, where central government had very effective control over their capitals. So SRC recommended the abolition, can you imagine? The abolition of the Council of Ministers and the Legislative Assembly of Delhi, जो कि 1951 में क्रिएट हुई थी। 1952 में इलेक्शंस हुए थे, पहले चीफ मिनिस्टर बने चौधरी ब्रह्म प्रकाश यादव ऑफ द कांग्रेस पार्टी। सो दे रिकमेंडेड द abolition of both the Council of Ministers and the Assembly, and in fact this was done. And it further recommended that Delhi should be under the direct control of central government, and Delhi should only have a municipal corporation, ठीक है। अब 1956 में दिल्ली became a UT, ठीक है। अब जो आपकी काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर और असेंबली थी दिल्ली की वो अबॉलिश हो गई, और उसके बाद द DMC एक्ट was enacted in 1957. DMC stands for Delhi Municipal Corporation. The Council of Ministers stood abolished, Legislative Assembly stood abolished, and now Delhi was under the direct and pervasive control of the central government. और दिल्ली के अंदर सिर्फ सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट की एक ही बॉडी थी, the Delhi Municipal Corporation. You know that Delhi Municipal Corporation was later segregated into 3 municipal corporations in Delhi, and then they were integrated again recently into just one Delhi Municipal Corporation. Okay, but you know, even when this happened, one more thing. Before I come to the next point, as I said that Delhi was being administered by a chief commissioner, right? It was in 1966, not 1966, that the chief commissioner was redesignated as the lieutenant governor. But you know, the status of Delhi and the idea of having a separate state or possibly having a council of ministers, legislative assembly still continue to be a part of public debate in a major way for the pursuing and the ensuing decades. 1966 के बाद भी बहुत ये डिबेट में रहा कि दिल्ली का स्टेटस क्या होना चाहिए, इनके पास अपनी सेल्फ गवर्निंग बॉडी होनी चाहिए कि नहीं होनी चाहिए, and all those things, right? Then in 1987, there was a Balakrishnan committee appointed, Balakrishnan committee. अब इस बालाकृष्णन कमेटी ने क्या बोला कि दिल्ली शुड रिमेन a UT, but the Council of Ministers and the Legislative Assembly should be restored, वापस आ जानी चाहिए, ठीक है। And the status of the fact that the Delhi will again have Council of Ministers and Legislative Assembly, this status should be constitutionalized. Okay. And eventually, on the recommendations of Balakrishnan Committee of 87, the 69th Constitution Amendment Act was passed in 1991, and Delhi again had a Legislative Assembly and a Council of Ministers, and the first elections were held in 1993. BJP won. Madan Lal Khurana became the Chief Minister, and it was after now 37 years that Delhi had an elected Chief Minister. All right, that's with respect to the historical development of Delhi. ठीक है, तो ये facts हैं आपको. So one thing which possibly may have come as a new fact for you, that it was not for the first time after 69th Amendment Act that Delhi had a Council of Ministers and Assembly. It was in fact in the 1950s also there was a Council of Ministers and Assembly, but of course on the recommendations of the State Reorganization Commission ये Assembly और Council of Ministers दोनों को abolish कर दिया गया था. ठीक है, आज एक और यूटी भी कर लेते हैं, छोटा है. ठीक है, चलिए. How about this? Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Okay. So now, during the British times, Andaman Nicobar Island was a part of British India and governed through a chief commissioner. जैसे दिल्ली था, लेफ्टिनेंट गवर्नर की डेजिग्नेशन बाद में आई, तो जैसे दिल्ली था वैसे ही यहाँ पे भी चीफ कमिश्नर था, बट इट वाज अ पार्ट ऑफ ब्रिटिश इंडिया, administered by the chief commissioner who was acting on behalf of the Governor General of India. Okay, so Andaman Nicobar Islands was directly under the Governor General who was administering, and it was a part of British India, and Andaman Nicobar Islands जो था, it was being administered by a chief commissioner who was directly responsible to Government of India. Up immediately after independence in 1947, because Andaman Nicobar Island was being directly administered by British government, the central government at during British times, by the Governor General, the control of Andaman Nicobar Islands automatically passed on to the Government of India. अब आपको ये पता है कि भी in the original constitution we categorized our territories into part A, part B, part C, and Andaman Nicobar Island is the only territory which got its own category, that is part D, and part D included just one, Andaman Nicobar Islands. And you know, part D represented the highest level of central government control and central government involvement in the management of a particular territory on account of its highly strategic location. So it got a part of its own, got a category of its own, that is Andaman and Nicobar Islands. ठीक है, अच्छा अब in 1956 obviously we gave up this four-fold classification, इसको खत्म कर दिया हमने part A, B, C, D को, and then this was replaced by states and UTs, and Andaman Nicobar Island also became a UT in 1956. Now a unique fact which possibly most of you may not know. Andaman Nicobar Island में भी लोकसभा से एक आदमी इलेक्ट होकर आता है, one MP लोकसभा MP is elected from Andaman Nicobar Islands, but for the first 3 Lok Sabha elections, the member of Lok Sabha representing Andaman Nicobar Islands was not elected. He was nominated by the president. Yes. Okay. It was only in the 4th general election, that is in 1967, that we started the process of, they allowed the population of the electorate of Andaman Nicobar Islands to elect their own Lok Sabha MP. So, till 1967, the 4th general election, the Lok Sabha MP of Andaman Nicobar Islands was not elected by the people of Andaman Nicobar Islands, he was nominated, right? Out of 67 में elections हुए for the first time, well, the first person to ever represent, who was elected democratically from Andaman Nicobar Island and became the first elected Lok Sabha MP from that area was K.R. Ganesh. Okay, so this is a unique fact which you might not find in many books, etc. So for the first 3 elections, you can imagine that Andaman Nicobar Island did not have the right to elect its own Lok Sabha MP. It was actually nominated by he was nominated by the president of it. And of course, in 1982, the chief commissioner was redesignated as the lieutenant governor. Okay, so I hope this information was useful for you. In my next video, I'll be talking about Chandigarh and Lakshadweep. Thank you very much for attending.